Question of the day, is the Pocket 2 still relevant in 2022? Let's see.
They don't think we can keep making hits about cameras. But I'm the cameraman. But I'm the cameraman. Stay creamy. Yeah, started on a 50 mil lens.
If this is your first time coming to the channel, I'd like to welcome you. This is Lessons Learned with Cameras. My name is Willie. So today we're going to talk about the successor to the DJI Osmo Pocket, which is the DJI Pocket 2. So the DJI Pocket 2 came out in November 2020. Now there was much needed upgrades that came out with the DJI Pocket 2 comparable to its predecessor, the DJI Osmo Pocket. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about all the specifications of the DJI Pocket 2. I mean, it's been out since November 2020. I think by now most people know ins and outs of the camera itself. But what we're here today to kind of discuss is it still relevant in 2022? Like, is there a place for this camera in your workflow? Now, for me, the DJI Pocket 2 is the only camera that I have that goes with me on every single video shoot, or anytime I'm going to record and do a vlog. If I'm away from home, it's the one camera that's always in my camera bag. I don't use the Pocket 2 as my primary camera nowadays, but I do know there's creators that do use it that way. For me personally, I use it more for a B-roll camera, kind of when I have to shoot in areas where I have to be discreet, probably where cameras are frowned upon. Then the Pocket 2 comes in handy for situations like that. I looked on the DJI website to see how much the Pocket 2 runs nowadays. I mean, it's still priced at $349 just for the basic Pocket 2 without the Creator Combo accessories. And if you went to the Creator Combo, they still have that at $499. Now, I personally think I wouldn't waste my time with the basic package. I would go for the Creator Combo. It just seems like it would cut out a lot of the headaches of the hassle of things you would have to buy the additional accessories if you bought them one by one, or if you try to buy them on aftermarket through another company that sells the same product. Main thing I was glad the Creator Combo did come with was a transmitter and receiver. So this is a good transmitter and receiver. I mean, it's pretty comparable to my Rode Wireless Go. Never had an issue with it. And I was also glad that I didn't have to use no 3.5 millimeter jack. So it was good getting away from all these secondary market accessories that I have to buy one by one to make this, somewhat of a vlogging camera. Second thing the DJI Pocket 2 came with that made me sold on it for the Creator Combo was the wide angle lens adapter. So with this wide angle lens adapter, it's magnetized. It just pops right onto the front. It's a 15 millimeter equivalent for full frame. I think it's 110 degree field of view, but the only thing I think that they failed with that was I think it should have just been attached to the gimbal itself through the lens. And that way you wouldn't have to worry about popping it on, popping it off, and worry about losing it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and knock out the pros and cons so we can get out in the field and do the field test. First pro being lightweight, compact. The Pocket 2 itself is very lightweight, very compact. It only weighs 117 grams. And it's very pocketable, lightweight. I mean, it's an understatement. Discreet. I have no problem not bringing unwanted attention, especially if I'm filming somewhere where I probably shouldn't be video recording. I definitely like using this camera because it doesn't bring that unwanted attention, those watchful eyes. As long as I don't stick out and do nothing silly with it, like holding the camera way out here in front of me and all that, I'm not going to bring that attention. 3-axis gimbal. Now, 3-axis gimbal is probably the best stabilization you can get out there when you're comparing it to IBIS or optical steady shot or active steady shot. But the thing that people don't like about 3-axis gimbal sometimes on the Pocket 2 is the fact that because it's such a light camera and then having that gimbal on there, when you're walking forward or you're videoing forward, you kind of have the tendency to see that up and down motion of the camera. And a lot of that has to deal with the way you hold the camera itself and where you put your support at for the camera. Versatility. The Pocket 2, like I said earlier, it goes with me no matter what. It's probably the only camera I got that doesn't matter where I'm shooting, that camera is in my camera bag. Like even right now, I'm shooting this talking head video, right? I'm using my A6100. One would think I would be using the FX3, but I'm telling you, FX3 isn't the answer for everything. Bigger isn't always better. So sometimes, you have to know exactly what tools you need for the job. And when you don't know, or you're going into a situation where you're going to be shooting where you're not familiar with it, I'm telling you, it's always good to have that one versatile camera that can answer all those questions for you. On to the cons. First one being built-in battery. No one likes a built-in battery. I mean, I'm not gonna spend too much time harping on that. Yes, I wish there was interchangeable batteries I could put in here. Most times when I'm shooting 4K 24, I usually get about an hour and 40 minutes. If I'm shooting 1080, I can get about maybe 2 hours and some change out of it. But again, I wish it was interchangeable batteries. Low light performance. Yes, the Pocket 2 doesn't do well in low light. I mean, even though it does have a f1.8 aperture, but when you pair it with that 1/1.7 CMOS sensor, you ain't gonna get nothing with that. I try to avoid shooting with this camera any low light scenarios. Sometimes I can't avoid it depending on where I am and how discreet I'm trying to be. You know, it's one of the cons that you take with this camera. So with everything out of the way, let's go ahead and take it out in the field, do a field test, come back to the lab, knock out some final thoughts, and come up with the conclusion. Well, today I'm out here with the DJI Pocket 2 with the Creator Combo accessories. Well, some of them. I'm using a receiver and transmitter, and then later on I'll put on the wide angle lens adapter. So how does it look right now? Do you think this is enough field of view for vlogging? So currently, like I said in the talking head part of the video, the Pocket 2 comes with the 20mm equivalent f1.8. So this is what you get when you're using that. I'm not holding it out in front of me all crazy. My elbow's bent a little bit. So, and it's still comfortable. And like I said earlier, I mean, this thing is really discreet. It's light. I don't think nobody would ever complain about the weight of the Pocket 2. Ideal setup for vlogging. Very simple, not a lot to it. Even packing my stuff to come down here and do this video, it took little or no time. I just matter of just throwing my Pocket 2 in my man satchel and got on the way, and I was here. Figure I'd go ahead and get this party started. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this from the 20mm equivalent to the wide angle lens adapter, which is the 15mm full frame equivalent. So how does that look with the wide angle lens adapter? Is it more of a field of view? Now with this, keep in mind you get the 110-degree field of view. 15mm, it definitely gives you more room in the shot, which I do appreciate. But if I'm going to use the Pocket 2, I think I would always keep the wide angle lens adapter attached to it. There's no reason really to take it off. Okay, so now I'm walking down here and kind of in a shaded area just to show you what it looks like when you're not in direct sunlight. And I mean, I wouldn't really consider this a low light situation because again, you still have the sun kind of shining through. I don't know, it's hard for me to tell if the background's blown out. The screen is so small. But you know, I didn't believe in putting that as a con for this device. You know, me personally, I believe cons should be realistic. Negative things about a camera should be something realistic, that there's a possibility that it could be corrected. Like I would never say, oh man, I wish the Pocket 2 had a full frame sensor. That's stupid, okay? I try to keep my cons anything that's realistic. To me, that is a little bit irritating. Sometimes I get in here and I'm trying to change the settings and I feel like I'm fat fingering it and it always jacks up or something goes wrong with it. So let's talk about who this camera's for. This camera's for someone who likes the convenience of such a small pocketable device, something that's really discreet, something that doesn't bring a lot of unwanted attention. This camera would be for you. I think this device is for someone who wants decent video quality, something that I would say is comparable to a smartphone. This would be a good device for you. This device is definitely for someone who's looking to upgrade from the DJI Osmo Pocket. If you haven't upgraded from that by now, it's definitely well overdue. And the last one, this device is for you if you're a one-person filming crew. Most of us film by ourselves, especially content creating on YouTube. So I can't really see nobody this device wouldn't be beneficial for. So we got that out the way. Let's talk about who this device may not be for. I think someone who most of the time they shoot in low light situations. Ironically, when I say that, I come under a bridge. This device may not be for you. Again, it looks like the back is all blown out back there. Also, you may want to look elsewhere too. If you're used to the simplicities of a smartphone, I wouldn't pick up a Pocket 2. There's things that are very just grab and go with the smartphone that with the Pocket 2, you kind of have to mess with some of the settings. It does get a little fidgety sometimes, but again, because I only use mine mainly for B-roll and when I'm being lazy, it doesn't really bother me that much. Also, the Pocket 2 may not be for you if you're a person that likes to shoot a lot of stills. I know it says it's 64 megapixels, but man, on an f1.8, 1/1.7 CMOS sensor, you're going to be highly disappointed. So right now, I'm shooting on the external audio with a wireless transmitter and receiver that comes with the creator combo. So how does it sound? This is what you get for sound quality. I must say, I totally hate this wind muff, and the only reason I hate it is because I wish they would have used the same design that they used for the Rode Wireless Go 2, the snap-on and twist. This one is magnetized, but that magnet's so weak, I'm always scared it's going to pop off. I think honestly, this is the first time I've ever used it, just because I'm always in fear of losing it or knocking it off. So now let me switch to the internal audio. So this is the internal audio. Not really a big fan of it. Don't really use it a lot. So I really don't have an opinion about it either way. I can't say it's horrible, but again, there's no wind really blowing. I'm not in an area where there's a lot of ambient sounds. So again, this is what the internal audio sound like. So we could do the zoom test. Okay, right now this is just regular video shooting. Do the ×2 zoom. Tell you something else I hate with the Pocket 2 or with the DJI Osmo or any of them is I cannot train my eyes not to look at that screen. And if I didn't have glasses on, I mean, you could obviously see it a lot better. It's like I have to apply a deliberate thought process every time I'm using the Pocket 2 to make sure I look directly at the lens. It's more noticeable with this camera just because of where the lens is fixated at versus the screen, but I hate that. So what I'm gonna do right now, I brought out my DJI Osmo Pocket. So I want to kind of do a comparison. I'm gonna try to do side by side where you can see if this one would be worth getting over the DJI Osmo Pocket. Okay, so now I'm using the DJI Osmo Pocket, which is this one, and the Pocket 2, which is this one. Man, it's kind of hard doing a side by side comparison. So, but this is what you get. I do have the freewell wide-angle lens adapter on the DJI Osmo Pocket, but it still looks like the Pocket 2 with the Creator Combo wide-angle lens is wider than this one. And I'm holding both cameras in one hand, so there's really no way for me to, cheat it or mess it up. But this is what you get. So I think before I close it out, I'm gonna go ahead and do one more test. I didn't plan for this one, but I think I'm gonna test the Pocket 2 against the iPhone. So just a quick test. Bear with me, my iPhone is the iPhone 11. So I know that came out in like 2019 and Pocket 2 was November 2020. So see how the iPhone 11 holds up against the Pocket 2. So now I'm vlogging with the iPhone 11. It feels weird. Don't know how people do it, but hey, this is what you get. I'm gonna have to change this phone out soon, man. I was trying to hold off for the iPhone 14, so I wanted to skip the 12 and the 13 because I heard that the design was changing. So, but man, I may have to break down and get the 13 ahead of time. I'm starting to have problems with this phone, but this is what you get with 2019 technology in an iPhone versus the Pocket 2. Just takes some getting used to. Not used to holding a phone out in front of me like this. So there you have it. So that'll be it. Go ahead and wrap this up and get back to the lab. Okay, so let's talk about this. Got back from the field test. I mean, as you can see, that's pretty much how the Pocket 2 performs out in the field, using it for a daily vlog. If you just kind of get some B-roll and everything, kind of give you my thoughts on it while I was out in the field. I tell you overall, I really love the Pocket 2. I really do. I can't wait until the Pocket 3 come out. I'm only hoping for in the next update that they come out with a bigger sensor and probably like a wide angle lens that is permanently attached to it. Is the Pocket 2 still relevant in 2022? I think it is, yes. I'll tell you why. The big mistake people make with the Pocket 2 is they like to compare it against an action camera or a point and shoot camera. And in all actuality, you should be comparing it against a smartphone or the DJI Osmo Pocket, the predecessor. And the reason I say a smartphone is because the sensor size is about the same as it is with the Pocket 2, even though I do believe a smartphone has kind of some unfair advantages with that computational magic that they have in there, that they can make a picture look really good with a small sensor, whereby the Pocket 2 don't have that. So that's pretty much it. If you like this video, you want to see more content like this, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button. I'm going to try to get more consistent about my times on putting these videos out, but with me having other channels and other platforms that I do videos on, sometimes it's kind of hard to get back to the tech channel here, but I'm going to try to get better about that in the future. Just stay tuned, and don't know what my next video is going to be. I had some requests from a couple of people that they came up with very interesting topics to do some tech videos on when it comes to cameras. So I'm going to look at that and see what I can put together, and I'll see you in the next video.